Hey, good day, super excited. You're welcome to Magic Monday with Mayowa Owolabi. Be more and achieve more. And I'm really excited about this episode. If this is your first time, make sure you click on the subscribe button and also on the notification bell so that you can get notification whenever we upload videos on this platform. In this episode, the topic we have for you is how you can unlock the extraordinary with your mind. We're going to be sharing with you 4 strategies that you can use to unlock the extraordinary around you. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video, and we're going to take it up from there after this short break. Come on, guys.
So the first thing I learned when I went to the monastery was to learn how the mind works. Because once you know how the mind works, you can control it. And once you can control it, you can focus it. You can't focus or concentrate something you don't understand. When people say to me, life is too busy, I can't simplify. No, it's you don't want to. You have the choice. Nobody's holding a gun to your head saying, you have to associate with these people and you have to do these things. No, you choose to do them. People say this to me all the time. You know, I hang around with entrepreneurs and other people that you and I have met. They've come up with Snapchat. You need to be on Snapchat. I'm like, I don't need to be on Snapchat. I don't care what comes up tomorrow, I'm not going to do it. Because I can't sustain it, right? That's going to take a little bit more of my energy each day. And I only have this much energy, and I need to divide it between all the people and things that I love. Right? Law of thermodynamics states you cannot create or destroy energy, but you can transfer it from one thing to another or transform it from one thing to another. So I can't create more energy, I only have this much. Because come 11 o'clock tonight, I'll be exhausted and ready to sleep. So I got this much, 100%. I need to know where I'm dividing. I always tell entrepreneurs to look at energy the same way they look at money. It's a finite resource that needs to be wisely managed, wisely reallocated, and wisely invested. The average person sleeps, 7 to 8 hours? To say, roughly. So we're awake for about 16 hours of the day. Let's just say on average we're practicing it 13 hours a day, 7 days a week distraction. And then you wonder why you're so good at it. That's the law of practice. The law of practice is that we become good at whatever it is we practice. Whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. If you practice something over and over and over again, you become really good at it. And that's why people are so good at distraction, because it's what they practice. And then people say things like, technology are great distractors, right? Smartphones. Oh, I have this thing so distracting, my smartphone. The internet. Are they distractors? I'd like to say no first, and then yes. But mostly no. Technology in itself is not a bad thing. It's actually a beautiful thing, as long as we're in charge of it. But if every time your iPhone beeps or makes a sound and you turn to it and you go, yes, master, how can I serve you today? Then you live in that world of distraction. It's training you to be distracted. But if you actually use technology, then technology is not a bad thing.
If you want to be successful in starting a business, then you study what people have learned, and everything that people have learned they've written down or shared in seminars or put onto audio programs. I learned this from a very wise man named Kopmeyer, who spent more than 50 years studying success. And he had developed more than 1,000 success principles that he had derived out of something like 6,000 books. And when I met him, I asked him the question you would ask. Of all these 1,000 principles, because I had studied it all, which is the most important principle of all? And he said, Brian, he said, it's simple. He said, use proven success methods. He said, learn from the experts. He said, Brian, you'll never live long enough to learn it all for yourself. So what I find is that successful people are those who learn from others who've gone before them. Unsuccessful people try to make it all up. Like a cook going into the kitchen, taking ingredients out of the cupboards, throwing them all in a bowl, and wondering why it doesn't taste good. This is why people's sales careers, why 80% of salespeople are functioning well below their potential. Only 20% make all the money. Why 20% of businesses in any industry make all the profits. Why 20% of the professionals in any service make 80% of the money, and so on, is because they follow proven success principles, proven recipes, proven formulas, proven combinations, and they just do them over and over again until they master them. Then they can do more and more of them, faster and faster, easier and easier, at a higher level of quality. And all that translates into greater results. We are where we are and what we are because of the choices and decisions that we have made in the past. Choices and decisions with regard to the jobs we take, the people we work with, the people we marry, live with, socialize, the investments we've made, the uses of our time, and so on. We are where we are and what we are because of our choices and decisions. So the starting point of change in our life is to make new choices and decisions, which requires that we stop making old choices and decisions that are not helping us. In other words, to get into something new, you've got to get out of something old. To start associating with positive people, you've got to stop associating with people who are not helping you. And in many cases, people realize they're going to have to break off old friendships, break out of relationships. I've seen this happen countless of times. Quit jobs, stop associating with negative family members who are constantly critical. You're going to have to reorient yourself to more positive people. Now, the third principle that's so important is this, is that there's a law of attraction in the universe that says that you attract into your life people and circumstances in harmony with your own thinking. So if you start to read really good material, set goals, commit to your own personal development, strive to become good at what you're doing, listen to positive audio programs, associate with positive people like at this seminar, what happens is you set up a force field of energy that is invisible, but it attracts into your life people, circumstances, possibilities, opportunities that would not have been there in the absence of your own changed thinking. So all three conspire. Stop making bad decisions, start making good decisions, start associating with people who encourage you, are in harmony with what you think, and then trust to this law of attraction to bring the right people into your life.
You have to decide, are you going to be defined by a vision of the future, or are you going to live by the memories of the past? So, I'll give you an example. Most people wake up in the morning, and your brain is a record of the past. It's an artifact of everything you've learned and experienced to this moment, right? It's a memory bank. So most people wake up in the morning and they start thinking about their problems, and those problems are connected to certain people and things at certain times and places. And the moment they start turning on those circuits, those memories are actually causing them to think in the past. Every single one of those memories has an emotion associated with them, and emotions are the end product of past experiences. So then, the moment they recall the event or they recall some problem in their life, they start feeling unhappy, they start feeling discouraged, they start feeling anxious. Now, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body, and how you think and how you feel creates your state of being. So we could say then, most people's entire state of being when they start their day is in the familiar past. Well, if you live in the familiar past, then it makes sense you're going to create the predictable future. So what happens for most people is they get stuck in their biology. So think about this. Your body is your unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between an experience in your life that creates an emotion and an emotion that you can create by thought alone. So if you're living by the same emotion every single day, and those emotions are influencing your thoughts, and you can't think greater than how you feel, or feelings have become the means of thinking, you're thinking in the past. Your lens of the future is going to be colored by the past, so you can't see possibilities. So most people like to wait for crisis or disease or diagnosis before they wake up enough to see. Well, the challenge is that biology tends to be redundant. So if you keep thinking the same thoughts, and those thoughts begin to fire certain circuits in your brain, the nerve cells that fire together wire together, so all of a sudden you start getting hardwired. And those are the thoughts that you can think the easiest. At the same time, those thoughts produce chemicals called emotions, and the next thing you know, your body gets accustomed to living by the same emotions, and it could be guilt, it could be unhappiness, it could be pain, but at least it's familiar to you, at least you can predict it. So some people would rather cling to the familiar than take a chance in possibility. So for most people then, they say, well, I don't really see how my thoughts have anything to do with my destiny. Well, that's because 95% of those thoughts are subconscious programs, right? So you're not even conscious that you think those thoughts. So the first step to change is starting to think about what you've been thinking about and change it. And then when you begin to observe those thoughts, you're no longer the program, you're the consciousness observing the program.
Just simply by being an observer of your thoughts.
Right. So most people, though, when you do that, when you decide to really take a look, it's like lighting a match in a dark place. So you feel uncomfortable. So it's easier to turn on your TV, it's easier to play with your cell phone, to distract yourself from those feelings. Well, when you understand that change really requires becoming uncomfortable to a certain degree, and that's normal, that you're leaving the known and you're stepping into the unknown, then it begs the question, what thoughts do you want to fire and wire in your brain? Because your attention on those thoughts begins to reorganize circuitry, remold the brain.
The law of control. The law of control says that you feel positive about yourself to the degree to which you feel you are in control of your own life. And the psychologists call this a sense of coherence, a sense of control. It means that when you feel you're in control, you feel happy. You feel at peace with yourself. And you feel negative about yourself to the degree to which you feel you are not in control of your own life. You feel you are controlled by your bills, by your bosses, by your health, by your debts, by your family, by your obligations. When you feel that you're not in control or out of control, you feel highly stressed. A person with internal locus of control says, I make my own decisions. I am where I am and what I am because of myself. I'm in charge of my life. A person with an external locus of control feels that other people are in charge of their life, their boss, their bills, and so on. The people with a high internal locus of control feel really, really good about themselves. They feel powerful, they feel empowered, they feel strong. And here's an interesting point, is you can never give away control, except to other people. You can give away your control to other people, but you still remain responsible. We'll talk about this later. So control begins with your thoughts, and your thoughts determine your feelings, and your feelings then determine your actions. I have a friend who has a little stick-on that he gives you to stick anywhere you want, and it just says C-Y-T. Control your thoughts. Control your thoughts. And if you can control your thoughts, you can control everything else. Your thoughts are the guidance mechanism of your life. So control your thoughts. And when you control your thoughts determine your feelings. At the University of Pennsylvania, they did 22 years of study, and they came up with a concept called explanatory style. You've heard the NLP people talk about framing and reframing. Well, explanatory style says that the way you explain things to yourself largely determines your emotions, largely determines your thoughts, your reactions, your responses, largely determines the total quality of your life, how you explain things to yourself. And so if you explain things in a positive and constructive way, then what happens is you respond positively and constructively, you feel differently, you take different actions, and you get different results.
Fantastic. Now that you've gotten the 4, go to work. Get it done. Replicate, repeat again and again. And I look forward to your testimonials and making things happen for yourself. Don't forget, always stay tuned every Monday to Magic Monday. And I will good to go. Have a pleasant week, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.